Welcome to Story Tales. Please like this video and subscribe to Story Tales. I hope you enjoy the story. Let's begin. The chatter of other diners faded into a soft murmur as August Keene studied his wife's face across the table. 10 years of marriage, and still, he found himself captivated by the elegant curve of her cheekbones and the way her blue-gray eyes caught the candlelight. But tonight, something was off. "You've barely touched your appetizer," August said, setting down his fork. Rhea looked up, her smile not quite reaching her eyes. "My stomach's a bit off. Nothing to worry about." August nodded, unconvinced. The restaurant, one of Austin's most exclusive, hummed with activity around them. White tablecloths, crystal glasses, and the quiet efficiency of the waitstaff created a cocoon of refinement that had cost him a small fortune to secure for their anniversary. "We could have rescheduled if you weren't feeling well," he offered. "On our 10th anniversary? I wouldn't dream of it." Rhea reached across the table and squeezed his hand briefly. "Let's order some wine. That might help." August signaled the sommelier, but his attention remained on Rhea. She'd been distant lately, subtle shifts in behavior that his analytical mind couldn't help but catalog. Tonight, she'd worn the silver pendant he'd bought her for their 5th anniversary, but not the matching earrings. Her makeup was immaculate, but heavier than usual. Her posture was rigid, her laugh a beat too slow. The waiter approached with their main courses, setting down plates of expertly prepared beef tenderloin with truffle reduction. "Anything else I can get for you, sir?" the waiter asked, his voice professionally neutral. "No, thank you," August replied. Adjusting his plate slightly, that's when he saw a small folded piece of paper tucked partially under his plate. With a casual movement, he picked it up while reaching for his napkin. "Excuse me for a moment," he said to Rhea, pocketing the note. "I need to use the restroom." In the privacy of a bathroom stall, August unfolded the note with steady hands. 5 words in neat, unfamiliar handwriting. "Don't eat. It's poison." A cold wave washed through him. His mind, trained through years of complex programming challenges to systematically evaluate problems, immediately began assessing possibilities. A prank? A mistake? The correct target? August splashed cold water on his face and stared at his reflection. His dark hair was neatly trimmed, his blue eyes now sharp with focus. He looked utterly ordinary, a successful software engineer celebrating an anniversary. Nothing about him suggested he should be the recipient of such a warning. He returned to the table, his demeanor composed despite the alarm bells ringing in his head. "Everything okay?" Rhea asked, her fork poised over her untouched meal. "Fine," August replied, sliding back into his seat. "Just needed a moment." He watched her carefully as she took a small bite of her food, then set her fork down again. "I think I'll just have some water," she said. "This rich food isn't agreeing with me tonight." August nodded, pretending to take a bite of his own meal while actually depositing it in his napkin. "Maybe we should skip dessert and head home early," he suggested. "You can get comfortable, and I'll make you some tea." Relief flickered across Rhea's face. "That sounds perfect, actually." As August paid the bill, his mind methodically sorted through the events of the evening. The note wasn't a random occurrence. Someone had deliberately warned him, and Rhea's behavior, her reluctance to eat, her eagerness to leave aligned too perfectly with a warning to be coincidental. The universe operated on logic and patterns. August had built his career understanding those patterns. Now, he would apply that same disciplined approach to understanding what was happening in his marriage. Streetlights swept rhythmically across the interior of their Audi as August drove through downtown Austin. Beside him, Rhea stared out the passenger window, her profile illuminated in intermittent flashes. "The restaurant really outdid themselves tonight," she said, breaking the silence. That wine pairing was exceptional. August noted the forced casualness in her tone. "You hardly drank any," he replied evenly. "I told you my stomach feels off. Maybe I'm coming down with something." She turned to face him. "Did you enjoy the food at least?" "It looked impressive," he said, deliberately vague. "Not sure it lived up to the price tag." "That's how these high-end places are," Rhea said with a dismissive wave. "More style than substance." August tightened his grip on the steering wheel. "More style than substance." An apt description for things beyond overpriced restaurants. Do you remember our first anniversary? Ria asked. That Italian place on 6th Street? Where the waiter spilled red wine all over your new shirt. I remember August said, you helped me soak it out when we got home. Ria smiled, seeming genuinely nostalgic. We were so broke back then. You were still at that startup, working insane hours. Things change, August said. The familiar landscape of their neighborhood came into view: manicured lawns, tasteful modern homes, the trappings of upper-middle-class success. For the better, Ria added quickly. Look at everything we've built together. August pulled into their driveway, the automatic lights illuminating their contemporary home. For bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, an open-concept living area, all the checkboxes of success properly ticked. He helped Ria out of the car, noticing how she subtly pulled away from his touch. Inside, Ria slipped off her heels at the door. I think I'll take a shower and head to bed early. Rain, check on that tea. Of course, August replied. I have some work emails to catch up on anyway. I'll be in my office. He watched her climb the stairs, her movements deliberately measured, as if she were performing for an audience. Once she disappeared into the master bathroom, August stood motionless in the entryway, listening to the distant sound of the shower, starting point 10 years. A decade of shared meals, vacations, arguments, reconciliations. A decade of building what he thought was a partnership. Now, standing in the home they'd chosen together, August felt like a stranger. He walked to the kitchen and retrieved a bottle of water from the refrigerator. His reflection distorted in the stainless steel door stretched and warped, just like his perception of his marriage had become in the span of a single evening. The shower upstairs shut off. August took his water and headed to his home office, closing the door behind him with a soft click. August's home office was a testament to his ordered mind. 3 monitors arranged precisely on a minimalist desk. Bookshelves organized by subject matter and then alphabetically. A whiteboard covered in neat handwriting project timelines and code snippets for his latest work project that he locked the door, then removed the note from his pocket and placed it on his desk. The paper was high quality, probably from the restaurant's own stock. The handwriting was precise, each letter carefully formed. Not Ria's looping script, which he knew intimately from a decade of birthday cards and shopping lists. August opened a drawer and withdrew a small file containing various documents with Ria's handwriting birthday cards, notes, grocery lists. He compared them methodically to the warning note. Definitely not the same hand. S.O. who had written it? A waiter? A concerned patron who'd overheard something? And more importantly, was there any truth to the warning? August pulled his keyboard toward him and began to type. A new document, organized chronologically. He titled it Behavioral Changes and began listing observations. 3 months ago. Ria joins new gym/wellness center 2 months ago. New password on phone. Previously shared passwords. 2 months ago. Girls' night increases from monthly to weekly 6 weeks ago. New clothing purchases higher end than usual. 1 month ago. Started cleanse diet from new nutrition coach 3 weeks ago. Changed perfume 2 weeks ago. Unexplained 2-hour absence when grocery shopping individually. Each item was innocuous. Together, they formed a pattern that August couldn't ignore. He opened his browser and logged into their shared cloud storage. Ria's phone automatically backed up to this account, a security measure they'd implemented years ago after she'd lost her previous device. The most recent backup was from yesterday. August navigated through folders, finding nothing immediately suspicious. Text messages were minimal, mostly logistics and brief exchanges with friends he recognized. Her call history showed frequent calls to a number he didn't recognize. August ran the number through a reverse lookup service. Adrian Sutter, nutritionist and wellness coach. The website showed a fit man in his early 40s with perfect teeth and a practiced smile. August leaned back in his chair, fingers steepled under his chin. A nutrition coach. That aligned with Ria's recent focus on clean eating and her new gym routine. But why the secrecy? Why the password-protected phone? Why the warning note at dinner? He returned to the cloud backup, diving deeper. Deleted items were more difficult to access, but not impossible for someone with his technical expertise. After nearly an hour of methodical work, August found a cache of deleted photos. His stomach tightened as the first image loaded Rhea in their bed, naked except for the silver pendant he'd given her. Alone in this photo. But the implication of others being present during the photo session was clear. August's face remained impassive as he continued through the recovered files. His heartbeat remained steady, his breathing controlled. Only the whitening of his knuckles as he gripped the edge of his desk betrayed any emotion. More photos appeared. Rhea with a man he now recognized as Adrian Sutter. Not just any affair photos, these were intimate, explicit, taken in hotel rooms, in Adrian's office, in the front seat of Adrian's car. Then came the text messages, hundreds of them, recovered from deleted archives. August read through them methodically, cataloging information. A is getting suspicious, Rhea had written 6 weeks ago. They always do eventually, Adrian had replied. But we have options. I'm not sure about this, Rhea texted 2 weeks later. It seems extreme. It's perfectly natural, Adrian responded. I've helped others through similar situations. Trust me. And yesterday. Tomorrow night? After dinner. Everything's ready. Just make sure he eats it all. August closed the browser and sat motionless, processing. The evidence aligned perfectly with the warning. His wife and her lover had planned to poison him at their anniversary dinner. He should feel rage, betrayal, heartbreak. Instead, he felt an icy clarity descending like a protective shield. The problem was now defined, and defined problems could be solved. August pulled out a fresh notepad and began writing again, this time creating a structured investigation plan. He would need allies, evidence, a strategy. 10 years of marriage had ended tonight, though Rhea didn't know it yet. What would replace? It was a precisely executed plan to ensure that those who had betrayed him would face consequences proportional to their actions. August Keene, senior software engineer and deceived husband, began to map out his code of justice. The university cafe buzzed with the energy of young minds fueled by caffeine and ambition. August sat at a corner table, watching the door. 3 days had passed since the anniversary dinner, and he maintained a careful facade of normalcy at home. He went to work, made appropriate small talk with Rhea, and kept his discoveries locked away in encrypted files on his private server. Leo Gale pushed through the cafe door, scanning the room until he spotted August. Tall and lanky, with perpetually disheveled hair, Leo looked every bit the academic he was. He approached August's table with a warm smile. 10 years, and you still look exactly the same, Leo said, sliding into the seat across from August. It's almost disturbing. Disciplined living. August replied with a faint smile. You, on the other hand, are sporting some distinguished gray. Leo ran a hand through his salt and pepper hair. The students do that. Every semester adds another patch. He studied August's face. Your message was cryptic. Need to discuss a concerning pattern. What's going on? August had met Leo during their undergraduate years, before August switched from psychology to computer science. Leo had stayed the course, eventually earning his PhD and securing a teaching position at Austin University. More importantly, he'd remained a friend even as their paths diverged, one of the few people August truly trusted. I need your professional perspective, August said, keeping his voice low. And your discretion. Leo's expression grew serious. Of course. August placed a manila folder on the table. My wife is having an affair with her nutrition coach. They planned to poison me at our anniversary dinner 3 nights ago. Leo's eyes widened, but he didn't interrupt. I was warned anonymously. August continued. I've since verified the affair and found text messages suggesting they were planning to dose me with something. I need to understand what I'm dealing with, both psychologically and practically. Leo slowly opened the folder, scanning the printed text messages and photos August had selected. His face remained professionally neutral, though his fingers tightened on the paper. Jesus, August, he finally said. Have you gone to the police? With what? Text messages about making me eat something? Photos proving my wife is unfaithful but not criminal? I need more. Leo nodded slowly. What do you need from me? 2 things. First, your psychological assessment of what might motivate someone to take this path. Second, your help in tracking patterns and gathering evidence. Leo rubbed his chin. The psychological component is complex. Affairs happen for many reasons: boredom, unmet needs, opportunity, character flaws. But escalating to harm. He paused, thinking. That suggests either significant external pressure or a more disturbing psychological profile. And this Adrian Sutter? The nutrition coach. If he's suggesting poison as a solution, this isn't his first rodeo, Leo said grimly. Manipulators like this usually have a history. They identify vulnerable targets and exploit them. August nodded. This aligned with his own analysis. I need to know if he's done this before. I have access to academic databases, court records. I can help research him, Leo offered. But August. He leaned forward. What's your endgame here? Divorce? Prosecution? Justice? August said simply. Proportional consequences for their actions. Leo studied his friend's face. You're remarkably calm for someone who just discovered his wife is plotting with her lover. Emotions cloud judgment, August replied. I need clarity right now. Compartmentalization only works for so long, Leo warned. Eventually, you'll have to process this. I'll process it when I've resolved it, August said firmly. Will you help me? Leo closed the folder and slid it back across the table. Of course I will. But promise me one thing: no matter what we find, we stay within legal boundaries. Evidence gathering only. August gave a single, decisive nod. Agreed. Then let's get started, Leo said. Tell me everything else you know about this Adrian Sutter. The next morning, August sat in his car across the street from Austin Wellness, a sleek, modern building of glass and brushed steel. According to their website, they offered everything from nutritional counseling to specialized fitness training. Adrian Sutter was listed as their head nutrition consultant. August checked his watch. 9:15 a.m. According to the schedule he'd found on Ria's cloud account, she had an appointment with Adrian at 9:30 a.m. She told August she was meeting a friend for breakfast. At T922, Ria's white SUV pulled into the parking lot. August watched as she checked her makeup in the rearview mirror before exiting the vehicle. She looked confident, happy even, as she walked into the building. August started a timer on his phone. If this was truly a professional nutrition consultation, it should last approximately an hour. While waiting, he opened his laptop and connected to a secure hotspot. Leo had sent over preliminary research on Adrian Sutter last night. The man's professional credentials were legitimate licensed dietitian with a master's degree in nutritional science from a reputable university. His business seemed successful, with glowing online reviews and a respectable social media following. But there were gaps in his history. A 2-year period where he seemed to disappear from public records, followed by a relocation to Austin from Seattle. No criminal record, but a few civil complaints that had been settled out of court. Nothing that explicitly raised red flags, but enough inconsistencies to warrant deeper investigation. August timer hit the 45-minute mark when Ria emerged from the building. She wasn't alone. Adrian Sutter walked beside her, his hand resting casually on the small of her back. They stopped by her car, standing closer than any professional relationship would justify. Adrian said something that made Ria laugh, then quickly scanned the parking lot before kissing her. August took several photos with a telephoto lens attached to his phone. More evidence for the file. The kiss ended, and Adrian handed Ria what appeared to be a small paper bag. She placed it in her purse, nodded at something he said, then got in her car. August waited until both Ria and Adrian had left before driving to his next destination, the university library, where Leo had secured a private research room. Leo was already there when August arrived, surrounded by printouts and an open laptop. You're not going to like what I found, Leo said without preamble. August set down his bag. Tell me. Adrian Sutter worked at a wellness center in Seattle called Pure Life. 5 years ago, one of his clients, a woman named Eliza Brandt, was widowed when her husband died suddenly of what was initially ruled natural causes heart failure. Leo slid a printout across the table. It was a news article with a photo of a grieving woman standing next to Adrian at a funeral. The autopsy showed elevated levels of a compound derived from certain herbal supplements, Leo continued. Nothing illegal on its own, but in high concentrations, it can stress the cardiovascular system. Not enough evidence to rule it homicide, but enough questions that the insurance company delayed payment. Let me guess, August said. Adrian testified about the husband's health. Leo nodded. So the man had pre-existing heart issues that he'd been treating holistically. The case was eventually closed as an accidental death. 6 months later, Adrian moved to Austin and opened his practice here. 9 months after that, Eliza Brandt moved to Austin too. They were briefly together, then separated. August processed this information. So he's done this before. Possibly, Leo cautioned. It's circumstantial, but combined with those text messages you found. He let the implication hang in the air. I need access to their current communications, August decided. And I need to know exactly what compound they're planning to use. That's crossing into legally questionable territory, Leo warned. Not if I only access accounts and devices that are legally mine, August countered. The cloud account is joint, registered to both of us. And I can place monitoring software on my own home network. Leo looked unconvinced, but didn't argue further. What about the compound? That bag he gave her today could contain it. I'll find it, August said. I need to know what we're dealing with. If it's the same substance used in Seattle, that strengthens the case considerably. And then what? Leo asked. Go to the police? August's expression hardened. First, I gather irrefutable evidence. Then I decide how best to ensure they face appropriate consequences. I know that, look, August, Leo said warily, you're planning something beyond simple evidence gathering. I'm planning justice, August replied. Nothing more, nothing less. As he left the library, August's phone buzzed with a text from Rhea. Working late tonight. Don't wait up for dinner. Love you. August texted back. No problem. Take care. Love you too. The words felt foreign, a code he no longer understood. But they maintained the facade, which was all that mattered for now. The house was dark and silent when August finally returned home. Rhea's working late had extended well past midnight, according to the GPS tracker he'd placed on her car earlier in the day. The tracker showed her vehicle parked outside an apartment complex across town, presumably Adrian's residence. August moved through the house methodically, setting up small, unobtrusive cameras in the kitchen, living room, and hallway. Nothing in the bedrooms or bathrooms. He had ethical lines he wouldn't cross, even now. He only needed to document their conversations about him, not their intimate moments in his office. August connected the cameras to his private server and tested the feeds. Everything worked perfectly. Next, he turned his attention to Rhea's home laptop. She rarely used it anymore, preferring her phone and tablet, but it remained on her desk in the spare bedroom she used as a craft room. August didn't need her password. As the household's technical support for a decade, he had administrator access to every device on the network. Within minutes, he'd installed monitoring software that would log all activity and forward it to his secure server. The final step was the most crucial. August needed to find the substance they planned to use. He started in the kitchen, methodically checking every cabinet, reading labels on every supplement and medication. Nothing seemed out of place that he moved to the master bathroom, searching through Rhea's cosmetics and medications. Again, nothing unusual. Finally, he checked her closet, carefully examining bags and pockets without disturbing their arrangement. In the pocket of a rarely used gym bag, he found the paper sack Adrian had given her. Inside was an unlabeled amber bottle containing what appeared to be herbal capsules. August carefully removed 2, placing them in a small evidence bag, then returned everything exactly as he'd found it. Back in his office, August uploaded all the day's findings to a secure server, then sent an encrypted message to Leo, need testing capabilities for unknown substance. Any contacts in the chemistry department? Leo's reply came minutes later. Professor Diana Vega. Discreet, thorough. Can meet tomorrow. August set the evidence bag aside and turned to his computer. Time to check the cloud back up again. Rhea had been careless in the beginning, leaving traces of her affair in deleted files that August could recover. She'd grown more cautious recently, but people in the throes of infatuation rarely maintained perfect operational security. Sure enough, after several hours of methodical searching, August found a cache of recently deleted videos. His face remained impassive as he watched his wife and Adrian together in various hotel rooms, including one August recognized as the suite he'd booked for a business trip last month, a trip Rhea had apparently made use of in his absence. More damning than the physical betrayal was the conversation August captured in one video. After their encounter, as they lay in August's paid-for hotel bed, Rhea and Adrian discussed him. "He suspects nothing," Rhea said on screen. "He's too wrapped up in his work to notice anything. Men like him never do," Adrian replied, stroking her hair. "They think their big brains make them invulnerable. I still don't understand why we can't just—" Adrian cut her off. "A divorce would cost you half of everything. Is that what you want? To start our life together with half of what you deserve?" "No, but the compound is completely natural," Adrian assured her. "It stresses the heart initially, but the effects build over time. Multiple small doses, carefully administered. By the time anything happens, it will look like natural causes. I've seen it work before." "You make it sound so clinical," Rhea said. "It's chemistry, that's all," Adrian replied. "No different from all those programming problems your husband solves. Just a different kind of code." August stopped the video. The evidence was now overwhelming. His wife and her lover weren't just planning an affair, they were plotting his death for financial gain. He should feel devastated, enraged. Instead, he felt a cold clarity settle over him. This was no longer just about gathering evidence. This was about survival, and then justice. August began typing again, outlining a new plan. This time, he wouldn't be the target. He would be the trigger. "You understand what you're showing me is deeply disturbing," Professor Diana Vega said, looking up from her microscope. A compact woman with intelligent eyes behind round glasses, she'd agreed to meet August and Leo in her private lab early on a Saturday morning as a favor to Leo. "I understand," August replied. "I only need to know what it is, not how to use it." Diana sighed. "It's a concentrated extract from a plant called monkshood, mixed with several other herbal compounds. Alone, in small doses, it's sometimes used in homeopathic medicine. In this concentration," she shook her head, "it would cause arrhythmia, elevated blood pressure, and significant cardiac stress. One dose wouldn't kill a healthy adult, but repeated exposure could trigger a cardiac event that might appear natural, especially in someone with any existing heart conditions." "Which I don't have," August noted. "Thank goodness for that," Diana said. "Where did you get this?" August and Leo exchanged glances. "Better you don't know," Leo told her. "But I assure you, we're gathering evidence, not planning to use it." Diana carefully sealed the capsules in an evidence container. "I'll provide a formal analysis for your records, but please tell me you're taking this to the authorities." "When we have enough evidence," August assured her. Later, as they walked across the nearly empty campus, Leo voiced his concerns. "She's right. We should take what we have to the police now." "It's not enough," August replied. "They've been careful. The substance isn't explicitly illegal. The messages are suggestive, but not definitive. I need irrefutable proof of intent." "How do you plan to get that?" Leo asked. "They're unlikely to confess on record. People reveal their true intentions under pressure," August said. "I've devised a scenario that will expose theirs." Leo stopped walking. "What kind of scenario?" "A controlled environment. A private dinner where I can document their behavior and conversations. A situation where they believe they have the advantage, but where I'm actually in control." "You're setting a trap," Leo realized, "with yourself as bait." August continued walking. "I'm setting a stage. And yes, I'll be playing a role, but they'll be the ones delivering the most important lines." "This is dangerous, August. If they're willing to poison you once, they won't have the opportunity," August cut in. "I'll control every element of the environment, including the food. In fact, I'm counting on their attempt." Leo caught up to him. "You've already decided how this ends, haven't you?" "Justice has only one logical conclusion," August replied. "Those who conspire to harm others must face consequences proportional to their intentions." That sounds disturbingly close to revenge. Revenge is emotional. This is rational. August stopped and turned to his friend. "They plotted my death, Leo. Not a quick one, but a gradual poisoning designed to appear natural. They discussed it casually, like solving a math problem. They deserve whatever comes next. Leo studied August's face. Just promise me you won't cross a line you can't come back from. You're hurt and betrayed, and that's completely understandable. But don't let their actions transform you into something you're not. I'm not being transformed, August said quietly. I'm being revealed, perhaps for the first time. The conversation ended there, but August's planning continued. Over the next week, he gathered more evidence through the cameras he'd installed and the monitoring software on Ria's devices. He documented multiple instances where Ria added the capsules to his food or drinks, only for August to dispose of them when she wasn't looking. He recorded her phone conversations with Adrian, their growing impatience with the slow progress of their plan, their discussions of what they would do with August's life insurance and investment portfolio. Every piece of evidence was carefully logged and backed up to multiple secure locations. And with each new revelation, August refined his final scenario, the one that would bring everything into the open. A surprise dinner? Ria asked, her voice carrying the perfect note of pleased surprise. What's the occasion? August smiled across the breakfast table. Do I need an occasion to do something special for my wife? Consider it anniversary part 2. The first one didn't go as planned with you feeling unwell. That's so thoughtful, Ria said, reaching across to squeeze his hand. Where? It's a surprise. A private chef in a special location. I've arranged everything. Just be ready at 7 on Saturday. I can't wait, Ria said, her smile not quite reaching her eyes. Should I dress up? Absolutely, August replied. It's going to be a night to remember. As soon as Ria left for her yoga class, which the GPS tracker showed was actually another visit to Adrian's apartment, August made his final preparations. He'd rented a commercial kitchen space that catered to food photographers and cooking classes and neutral location with excellent lighting and multiple angles for the cameras he would install. He contacted Adrian through an anonymous email account, posing as a wellness center looking for nutrition experts for a special event. The generous consultation fee he offered ensured Adrian accepted immediately, even when told the event was Saturday evening. August spent the day setting up the kitchen. Cameras were placed strategically to capture every angle. Microphones were hidden in decorative elements on the table. A separate prep area was established where August would prepare 3 identical-looking meals, 1 untouched for himself, and 2 containing a powerful but non-toxic purgative for Ria and Adrian. By 6 p.m., everything was ready. August surveyed the space one final time. The table was elegantly set, the lighting perfect, the surveillance system tested and functioning. All evidence was being streamed in real time to his secure server, with Leo monitoring remotely as a precaution. August prepared the 3 meals, wearing gloves and carefully keeping the portions separate. The purgative he'd chosen would cause significant discomfort, but no lasting harm, a proportional response to their plans for him. Each dish was covered with a silver dome, ready to be served at T6:45. He changed into his suit and prepared for his guests. The final act was about to begin. The commercial kitchen had been transformed. Soft lighting, elegant table settings, and the gentle notes of classical music created an atmosphere of refined celebration. August stood by the door, watching as Ria's car pulled into the parking lot. Right on schedule, his pulse remained steady, his breathing controlled. Months of discovering betrayal and plotting response had honed his emotional control to a razor's edge. Tonight would proceed according to plan, each element carefully orchestrated. Ria entered first, wearing a sleek black dress August had never seen before. Her smile faltered momentarily when she saw the intimate setup. "This is not a restaurant," she said, glancing around. "Better," August replied, taking her coat. "Private chef, private space. Just for us." "You went all out," Ria said, recovering her composure. "It smells amazing. I have a few special touches planned," August said. "But first, I invited a surprise guest for the appetizer course. Someone you've been working with who's helped you so much lately." Ria's eyes widened slightly. "What do you mean?" The door opened behind them. Adrian Sutter walked in, freezing momentarily when he saw Ria. He recovered quickly, extending his hand to August. Mr. Keene? I'm Adrian Sutter. I believe you contacted me about nutritional consultation for an event. August shook his hand firmly. Indeed, I did. Please come in. I believe you know my wife, Rhea. Adrian glanced between them, his professional smile never wavering. Mrs. Keene, yes. We've met at the wellness center. Rhea's face had drained of color. August, what is this? A celebration, August said smoothly. You've been so dedicated to your new health regimen. I thought it would be nice to have your nutrition coach join us to discuss how we can both benefit from his expertise. The trap was set. August watched their micro-expressions, the panic behind their eyes, the subtle glances they exchanged, the careful recalibration of their approach. What a thoughtful surprise, Rhea finally said. Adrian has been so helpful with my new diet plan. I'm honored to be included, Adrian added, his voice betraying no tension. August gestured toward the table. Please sit. I prepared everything myself. A special menu designed with wellness in mind. They took their seats, Rhea and Adrian careful to maintain appropriate distance. August brought the covered dishes from the warming area, setting one before each of them with a flourish. Before we begin, August said, raising his water glass, a toast. To health, to honesty, and to new beginnings. The irony wasn't lost on his guests, who raised their glasses with noticeably less enthusiasm. August removed the silver domes with a practiced movement. Herb-crusted salmon with quinoa and roasted vegetables. All organic, of course. This looks wonderful, Adrian said, examining the plate with professional interest. You have culinary talents I wasn't aware of, Mr. Keene. August, please. And I have many interests beyond programming. Cooking is a science of its own, wouldn't you agree? Combining elements in precise measurements to achieve desired results. Adrian nodded, taking a small bite. Excellent flavor profile. Rhea followed suit, though August noticed she was merely pushing food around her plate. It's delicious, August. I had no idea you could cook like this. We've been married 10 years, and yet there's still so much we don't know about each other, August replied evenly. The conversation continued, a delicate dance of pleasantries and professional nutrition advice from Adrian. August ate his meal calmly, watching as both Rhea and Adrian consumed their doctored portions. 20 minutes into the meal, Adrian shifted uncomfortably in his seat. Rhea pressed a hand to her stomach, her face paling. Is something wrong? August asked innocently. I'm suddenly not feeling well, Rhea said. Maybe it's just... The bathroom is through that door, August pointed. Perhaps you need a moment. Rhea hurried away. Adrian was now visibly uncomfortable, sweat beading on his forehead. Are you also feeling unwell, Adrian? August asked. How strange. The food tastes fine to me. Adrian stood abruptly. Excuse me, I need to... Before you go, August said, his voice dropping all pretense of warmth. I think you should see something. August placed the folded note from their anniversary dinner on the table. Your waiter warned me, he said. He worked part-time at the restaurant and recognized you, Adrian. You've done this before. Adrian stared at the note, his face contorting with both physical discomfort and shock. I don't know what you're talking about. Don't you? Eliza Brandt's husband in Seattle? Another nutritional client whose heart mysteriously gave out after months of your special supplements. Adrian's eyes darted toward the bathroom where Rhea had disappeared. This is absurd. I'm leaving. I wouldn't, August said calmly. Not unless you want the police to find you. They're on their way, along with paramedics. Don't worry, what you've ingested won't kill you. Unlike the monkshood compound you and my wife have been adding to my food for weeks. The blood drained from Adrian's face. You have no proof of anything. I have everything, August replied. Every conversation, every text message, every video, the tainted capsules with your fingerprints, your previous victim in Seattle, and now your reaction to this confrontation, all being recorded as we speak. Adrian lunged forward suddenly, grabbing for August, but the purgative had weakened him considerably. August easily sidestepped, watching as Adrian collapsed to his knees. What did you give us? Adrian gasped. Just a taste of your own medicine, August replied, though significantly less lethal than what you planned for me. The bathroom door opened, and Rhea emerged, clinging to the doorframe for support. Her carefully applied makeup was smeared, her complexion ashen. "August, we need to go to the hospital," she said weakly. "Something's wrong with the food." "Only your portions," August replied calmly. "Mine was prepared separately." Rhea's eyes widened as understanding dawned. "You poisoned us." "I administered a powerful purgative," August corrected. "Temporary discomfort, nothing more. Unlike the cardiac-stressing compound, you've been slipping into my meals for weeks." "I don't know what you're talking about," Rhea said, but her denial lacked conviction. August reached into his jacket and removed a tablet. With a few taps, audio filled the room. Rhea and Adrian's voices from one of the recordings August had captured. "How much longer will this take?" Rhea's recorded voice asked. "Patience," Adrian replied. "We need to be careful with the dosage. Too much at once would raise suspicions. This way, his heart will gradually weaken until it simply gives out. A tragedy, but a natural one as far as anyone will know." Rhea staggered to a chair, collapsing into it. "You've been spying on us." "Gathering evidence," August corrected. "After someone warned me at our anniversary dinner." "Who?" Rhea demanded. "Does it matter? What matters is that I know everything. Your affair, your plot, the compound from the same plant extract used on Adrian's previous victim in Seattle." Adrian, still on his knees, glared at August. "You smug bastard. You think you're so clever." "Not clever," August replied. "Just methodical. While you were both plotting my demise, I was documenting every step. The evidence is already with my lawyer and several other secure locations." "What do you want?" Rhea asked, tears streaking her mascara. "Money? Is that it?" The question struck August as so fundamentally absurd that he actually laughed a short, harsh sound devoid of humor. "What I want," he said, his voice low and precise, "is justice. You planned to murder me slowly for financial gain, and you almost succeeded." The sound of sirens grew audible in the distance. Adrian tried to stand, stumbling toward the door, but another wave of cramping doubled him over. "They're coming for you," August said. "Both of you. The paramedics will treat your symptoms, and the police will take your statements. They already have copies of all my evidence." "You can't prove anything," Adrian gasped. "It's your word against ours." August walked to one of the decorative vases on a shelf and removed a small camera. "It's your words against your words. Every conversation, every plan, every dose administered, all documented." Rhea began to sob, her body shaking. "August, please. It wasn't my idea. Adrian convinced me." "Don't," August cut her off. "Don't insult what's left of our marriage with more lies. The recordings show your enthusiasm for the plan once the initial hesitation wore off. You discussed how you'd spend my life insurance, where you'd travel with my investment portfolio." The sirens were very close now. Flashing lights appeared through the windows. "August," Rhea tried again, her voice breaking. 10 years together. That has to count for something." August looked at her, really looked at her, seeing not the woman he'd married, but the stranger she'd become, or perhaps always been. "It counted for nothing to you," he said quietly. "Why should it count for anything to me now?" The door burst open as paramedics entered, followed closely by police officers. August stepped back, allowing them to take control of the scene. An officer approached him. "Mr. Keene, I'm Officer Rivera. We received your call and the evidence files." "Are you all right?" "I'm fine," August replied. "They're the ones who need medical attention. Non-lethal purgative in their food. Self-administered justice." Officer Rivera raised an eyebrow. "That's a matter for the courts to decide, sir." "Of course," August agreed. "Everything else is documented in the files I sent. I'll cooperate fully with your investigation." As the paramedics attended to Rhea and Adrian, August watched with detached composure. When they were escorted out, Rhea on a stretcher, Adrian in handcuffs, despite his physical distress, August remained behind to give his formal statement. The mask of love had been shattered, revealing the true faces beneath. And for the first time in months, August Keene breathed freely, unburdened by deception. 6 months later, August stood at the railing of his deck, watching the Colorado River flow past his new home. The modest riverside house was a stark contrast to the sleek modern home he'd shared with Rhea, but its simplicity suited him now. The trial had been mercifully brief. With the mountain of evidence August had gathered, including the chemical analysis of the poisonous compound and the video recordings of Rhea and Adrian discussing their plans, both had accepted plea deals rather than face full trials. Adrian, with his previous suspicious involvement in Seattle, had received the harsher sentence 12 years for conspiracy to commit murder. Rhea had gotten 8 years, eligible for parole after 5 with good behavior. The sentencing judge had been particularly scathing about the calculated nature of their plan and the betrayal of marital trust. August took a sip of his coffee, listening to the birds in the cypress trees lining the riverbank. The divorce had been finalized 3 months ago. He'd sold the house, liquidated their joint investments, and started fresh. The settlement had been straightforward since Rhea had conspired to kill him for financial gain. She had forfeited any claim to their shared assets under Texas law. "Nice view," Leo said, joining August on the deck with his own coffee. "Much better than that sterile showplace you had before." "It suits me," August agreed. "Thanks for coming to check on me." Leo leaned against the railing. "No need for thanks. That's what friends do. How are the online classes going?" After leaving his software engineering position, August had started teaching coding to disadvantaged youth through an online platform. The work paid less, but gave him a sense of purpose he'd been lacking. "Going well," August replied. "I have some promising students. One girl in particular has a real aptitude for algorithmic thinking." "And how are you?" Leo asked. The question weighted with months of concern. "Really?" August considered the question. The initial shock had faded, leaving behind a clear-eyed perspective on what had happened. The rage that Leo had warned would eventually come had indeed arrived, weeks of sleepless nights and sudden, overwhelming waves of anger that had left him shaking. But even that had eventually passed, leaving a certain calm acceptance. "I'm okay," August said simply. "Not the man I was. Not sure who I'm becoming yet, but okay with the transformation." Leo nodded. "I was worried about you for a while there. The way you planned everything, it was so cold, so calculated." "It had to be," August replied. "Emotion would have made me careless." Still, the August I knew in college would have been destroyed by something like this. "Maybe I'm stronger than we thought," August suggested. "Or maybe betrayal reveals who we really are." They stood in companionable silence, watching a blue heron stalk through the shallows of the river. Finally, Leo asked the question he'd been dancing around for months. "Do you regret any of it? How you handled things?" August thought carefully before answering. "I regret trusting someone who saw my love as weakness," he said finally. "But I learned an important lesson. Some betrayals deserve to be punished, not forgiven." "That's a hard way to live," Leo observed. "Maybe," August conceded, "but it's honest. I don't pretend to be more forgiving than I am." A notification chimed on August's phone. Another student had submitted their project for review. Life continued, one line of code at a time. "I should get back to work," August said. "Stay for dinner? I'm trying a new recipe." Leo smiled. "Absolutely. Though maybe you should let me taste it first, just for old time's sake." For the first time in months, August laughed, a genuine sound that surprised them both. Somewhere beneath the calculated logic and measured responses, something human remained, bruised but intact. Not forgiveness, perhaps, but a path forward nonetheless. As August turned to head inside, he took one last look at the flowing river. Water never flowed backward. It simply found new channels when old ones were blocked. He was doing the same, moving forward, carving a new path through unfamiliar terrain. The betrayal would always be part of his story, but it would not be the end of it.